It's Kristen with Women's Care Center, and today I want to talk to you about good manners. Politeness is simply treating others with courtesy so that they feel at ease. Good manners are a powerful source of self-confidence, and they help to facilitate life's relationships in general. We can probably all agree that politeness is often overlooked and undervalued, but that doesn't change from the positive results that we can see when we choose to focus on them as a family. But before we focus on manners, let's focus on our breathing. With both feet flat on the floor, close your eyes and take your deep breath. As you exhale, imagine any stress or frustration that you've been feeling in your relationships leave your mind. Today I want you to think about a time when you felt valued. Think about something that someone said or someone did that made you feel important. Teaching our kids manners is not an easy job. You take one look at a TV show or a commercial or even cartoons and you will often see rudeness being celebrated. Teaching our kids manners is a family affair. Remember that children will most often learn their behavior from the adults that are around them. Remember when we talked about things being caught and not taught? It's the same thing with good manners. If you want to teach your child how to be polite, you need to look at your own behavior. When do you say please and thank you? Do you treat strangers with courtesy and respect? How often do you hold doors open for people? These are the things that you need to think about because our children see us as role models. It isn't enough to just tell our children to be polite. They need to see us showing good manners over and over and over and over. If you want your children to be polite, be sure that you're checking your own behavior. It's through our actions that they will learn to treat others with courtesy and with respect. Remember that patience is key. Anytime you're teaching a child a new skill, you need to be patient, and manners is no exception. Learning to be polite is really a lifelong process. It's not going to happen overnight. And it's always important to remember to teach a new skill one at a time. It makes the process easier on everyone involved. It's also important to remember to keep your expectations in check. A small child can only do so much, but an older kid can not only learn a new skill, but build upon the skills that they learned in the past. If we want our children to be polite, we need to have the same expectations for ourselves. And remember that manners start at home. Reinforcing politeness at home makes us ready to be doing it in public. There are a few key skills that you can teach your child that will likely result in them being kind and polite. These characteristics will not only serve in their relationships now, but will serve them in the future. It's important to start as early as we can. Here are some examples of manners that we can teach our kids based on their age and developmental ability. First, let's talk about toddlers. Most parents begin teaching manners by teaching their toddlers to say please and thank you. Taking turns and sharing are also early forms of patience and empathy. Apologizing for misbehavior introduced at a young age is more likely to stick as a lifelong habit. Preschoolers and kindergartners. It isn't always natural for a child to look someone in the eye when they're having a conversation. Prompting this skill at this young age will help them to develop and to demonstrate confidence. Learning to not interrupt is difficult for parents and kids. Remind your children that they should only interrupt in an emergency. I often tell my boys if I am in a conversation and they need my attention, to simply place their hand on my arm. As soon as I'm finished, I will turn my attention to them. Also, when we're talking about our preschoolers and kindergartners, we need to remember 2 words: bodily functions. It's important to not make a big deal out of it, but still we need to show our children what is appropriate behavior. For example, if you see a little one picking at their nose, don't make a big deal. Just give them a tissue and explain why it's important to use it. Lastly, let's talk about our older kids. Many older kids are unaware how to hold a conversation. I often explain to my oldest that it's kind of like playing catch. Catch is only fun when each party has an equal opportunity with the ball. It's important to teach children to ask questions in a conversation and then listen to the other person's answers. A lot can be said for a kid who knows how to shake hands. This is a really easy concept to practice and demonstrate at home. A firm grip and purposeful up and down motion while maintaining eye contact can actually help your kids land a job in the future. And finally, boys and girls can both learn how to open doors for people. For example, younger children, senior citizens, moms with littles, or anybody with their hands full. It teaches them to be considerate of those around them. So let's recap. Number 1, remember that your behavior counts. Your manners will be modeled back to you by your children. It's important to show the politeness that we expect. Number 2, learning manners takes practice, but practice makes perfect. Be ready to introduce one skill at a time and reinforce it with positive encouragement. Number 3, practice politeness at home and remind children of your expectations before going out. Gently remind them of any rudeness being displayed and remind them why good manners are important. So what are some skills that you can work on with your littles during this extended period of time at home? And don't forget to do your highs, your hurts, and your hugs. When you're tucking your little one in tonight, ask them what the best part of their day was. Ask the follow-up question, what was the most difficult part? And end it all with a big hug. Remind your children that you will love them for always. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.